Tonight, residents in outback Queensland stranded after heavy rain as the threat of yet another cyclone builds. Mayhem on the M1, a bus with more than 30 children on board bursts into flames. A major Brisbane hospital's health shock, mould spotted above a patient's bed. Fears of escalation, the US strikes back over the deaths of 3 soldiers. From athlete to actor, remembering Carl Weathers, the original Apollo Creed. And Supercars celebration, Red Bull's new look for a new era of racing with a Queenslander at the wheel.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Samantha Heathwood.
Good evening. A tropical low is gaining strength in the Coral Sea with a 1 in 4 chance of developing into a cyclone next week. If it reaches the coast, it would bring more heavy rain as the outback still deals with the impacts of Kirrily.
At Westmoreland Station in the Gulf Country, the only way around is by boat.
Started Wednesday afternoon. We got 98 mil overnight. And then Thursday we got... In the 24 hours Thursday, we got 332 mil.
Ex-tropical cyclone Kirrily continuing to wreak havoc, swallowing Tristan Gould's property, who says he'll be cut off for weeks.
It'd be good if it was spread out over a month. It'd be manageable. A lot of roads will be damaged, and I would say at this stage we would have lost a lot of stock.
At Bindoran, an island receiving some of the heaviest falls overnight, 156 millimetres. With the McKinley River swollen, the rain has nowhere to go. South near Cloncurry, roads are also cut.
The country, which was Burt in the first week of January, is now looking very bright and green.
Camberwell has been soaked too.
Here the rain hasn't stopped since last night. We rarely see such large volumes of rain.
At this stage, expecting ex-Kirrily to move into southwestern Queensland during Sunday.
As another system brews off the east coast.
A moderate or 25 to 35% chance of becoming a tropical cyclone from Thursday.
If it does, it would be the third in as many months, again impacting Townsville to Mackay, the first trifecta since 2018.
To have another potential tropical cyclone just a week and a half or so past the previous one is a bit unusual.
Emergency services are prepared.
If this low does become a cyclone, they will again be called into action and they'll answer that call.
As relentless wild weather shows no sign of slowing down. Anna McGraw, 7 News.
And to Paul Burt. Bertie, what impacts could this system have on the coast?
Well, Sam, at the moment, I've just got to reiterate, it is not a cyclone at this present time. It's just a lot of wind out in the Coral Sea, but it's embedded within a monsoonal trough, and there is that chance of it deepening over the next 5 to 7 days. But at the moment, it's staying well away from the coast. No impact whatsoever at this stage. However, if it does come close to the coast over the coming 4 or 5 days, by next Thursday, may just see some precipitation. But a lot of that rain's falling in the ocean at this stage. Now, temperatures today, everybody, absolutely gorgeous conditions. Obviously, a little bit of cloud keeping it down, but it was muggy as well. 31 to 32 the high. It got up to around 33 in the western districts. Last night around 21, 22. So quite a warm night. Another one ahead of us as well. I'll have more weather for you a little later in the bulletin, Sam.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Bertie. Well, a bus full of children has burst into flames on the M1 on the Gold Coast. Mel Whiteman, the driver, was taken to hospital.
Suffering smoke inhalation, Sam. He was brought here to the Gold Coast University Hospital in a stable condition. There was also more than 30 children on board the bus. It was travelling south on the motorway at Helensvale when flames erupted about 10 this morning. Everyone was safely evacuated before emergency crews arrived. None of the children were injured and were taken away in another bus as firefighters battled the blaze. It caused long delays. Drivers heading to the Gold Coast left bumper to bumper. Sam, firefighters say at this stage it appears a mechanical failure is to blame.
Mel Whiteman at Southport, thank you. Well, a little boy has been taken to hospital after he was attacked by a dingo on Gari. Jordan Bissell, he was playing at a campsite.
That's right, Sam. The 7-year-old is the 4th person bitten on the island in as many weeks. He was playing a game of Spotlight on the western side of the island last night when he was bitten on the lower body. The Sunshine Coast boy was taken to Kingfisher Bay Resort, where Volunteer Marine Rescue took him to Harvey Bay Hospital early this morning. This is the 4th bite investigated this year by Parks and Wildlife. A man and 2 children were attacked last month. The government says another $2 million in funding will boost public safety on the island. That'll see more education around dingoes, monitoring and hiring more rangers. Sam.
Jordan Bissell, thank you. Well, patients have been exposed to mould at a major Brisbane hospital. The Premier admits it's concerning but not unexpected due to recent wet weather, and the problem is being managed.
Inside Queensland's biggest teaching and learning hospital, an unwelcome pathogen, mould, spotted on the ceiling above a patient's bed.
The current weather containing mould can be challenging.
Metro North Health said we reject any suggestion patient safety is at risk, claiming the mould was found during increased surveillance with prompt mitigation action taken, confirming it has now been removed.
I point to the fact that there's currently $1 billion in maintenance backlog in Queensland at the moment in our health system.
A healthy boost announced today to address the housing shortage.
Delivering more houses faster.
With a $350 million program to encourage construction by reducing costs for developers and allowing them to use state land to build affordable homes.
We really want to see more density done well. We want to see infill development close to public transport and services.
The plan relies on the private sector to be on board.
It has never been more expensive to deliver homes here in Queensland.
The opposition looking for more detail.
How many houses does that involve? When will it be done? Their past record of announcements have come to nothing.
And expect more announcements when the government releases its full housing plan next week.
Laura Dimmick is with me now. Laura, the race for Anastasia Palaszczuk's old seat is heating up.
Sam, the by-election for the seat of Inala will be held next month. Today, the LNP revealed their candidate was aiming to be the first person to hold the seat without the Palaszczuk name in 40 years. Trang Yang is a Vietnamese migrant who works for the public service. She'll go up against Labor's candidate Margie Nightingale. And I asked the Premier today if Anastasia Palaszczuk will join the campaign.
I haven't spoken to Anastasia recently, but certainly I'd welcome her contribution.
The opposition says they're the underdog, and that's probably right considering Inala is the safest Labor seat in the state. The margin at the last election was 28%. Sam.
We'll be watching it closely. Thank you, Laura. Well, American bombers have struck scores of targets in Iraq and Syria in a first wave of retaliation. The strikes answer last weekend's deadly drone attack that killed 3 US soldiers. But many fear it will escalate a war Washington had tried to limit.
For Middle East militias, an answer from America. US B-1 bombers fly 10,000 kilometres from Texas to spearhead the attack, unleashing on fighters and their Iranian trainers in Iraq and Syria. 7 sites attacked, at least 85 targets, command and intelligence centres, drone and ammunition facilities, bunkers, pummeled with more than 125 precision-guided munitions. The assault, just 30 minutes long, hit the elite Iranian Quds force and militias they train, but notably no targets inside Iran itself. 2 hours before the bombers struck, the US president had stood in silence. The bodies of 3 Army reservists returned to American soil. The 3 killed as they slept, an Iranian-backed militia drone exploding in their Jordan base. Our response began today, President Biden said in a statement. It will continue at times and places of our choosing. Let all those who might seek to do us harm know this: if you harm an American, we will respond.
This is going to be a long campaign. We're going to bring in all kinds of assets.
President Biden has been under pressure from Republicans here to hit Iran hard. He says he only wants to limit the Mideast conflict, yet today's strikes for now appear to have escalated it. Militias have struck America's Middle East forces 166 times since mid-October. The White House calculating today's strikes will warn them off further attacks. The risk is they fire an even deadlier response.
We are serious. It is time for Iran to back down.
The US says it chose today's targets to minimise civilian casualties. One general adding here, we hit exactly what we meant to hit. That said, the real test of the mission will likely come in days ahead as we see whether those militias in the Middle East actually do stop attacking American forces. Sam?
Tim Lester in Washington, D.C. Thank you. An accused murderer has died in jail after being attacked by another prisoner. Philip Grabavac was found with significant head injuries in his cell at Woodford Correctional Centre overnight. He was one of 4 men charged with the murder of Lachlan Griffiths in 2022, whose body has never been found. The homicide unit is investigating. Anthony Albanese has spent the day campaigning ahead of a crucial by-election being framed as a referendum on his tax cut rewrite. Victory at the ballot box will be seen as a major tick of approval from voters desperate for cost of living relief.
Stepping up to the mat.
What could go wrong?
Hoping his tax policy backflip will bowl over the opposition. The Prime Minister campaigning in the Melbourne seat of Dunkley, promoting his candidate and his revamp of the Stage 3 tax cuts, giving more to low and middle income earners.
That I think Australians understand in their guts that that's fair, that that's the right thing to do.
He says it's voters like those in Dunkley who'll benefit most, a mortgage belt seat where the cost of living is biting.
These tax cuts won't hit for another 5 months. This is more about Anthony Albanese holding on his job.
The by-election, triggered by the death of Peter Murphy, a temperature test on a broken promise.
It's one that people punish you for if they don't like it. But if it's one which says we're going to put more money in your back pocket every payday, that's a broken promise that people can live with.
Confirming he won't be taking that money away, it's now almost a certainty Peter Dutton will back the legislation when it goes before Parliament next week. Unhappy about being wedged over the issue, the Coalition is keen to remind voters they also offered tax relief to low and middle income earners through stages 1 and 2 of the tax reforms.
The last reform was about making sure there was aspiration into the future.
But with 84% of taxpayers set to get a bigger cut, the government hopes it's onto a winner. Voters in Dunkley will let them know on March the 2nd.
Happens to be my birthday. It's also Jim Chalmers' birthday. So don't let us down.
Rob Scott, 7 News.
A man's body has been discovered in the front yard of a Logan townhouse. Tony Pope's father called 000 after finding his 44-year-old son dead around 2:30 this morning. Police say the pair shared the home with Pope's young children and a female housemate.
No charges have been laid. We still don't know if in fact how the gentleman died.
Anyone with information is asked to come forward. Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies, has passed away at the age of 76. The former athlete rose to fame as an action star but revealed a talent for comedy in movies like Happy Gilmore and Toy Story.
First an athlete, then an actor. Carl Weathers leveraged both to become a Hollywood heavyweight.
Without some damn water fight, then the warrior may as well be dead, Stallion.
He rose to fame playing the cocky boxer Apollo Creed in the low-budget film Rocky.
And Apollo Creed.
It went on to win 3 Academy Awards, a springboard to bigger budget movies.
Had enough? Make it easy on yourself, Dutch.
Arnold Schwarzenegger describing his co-star as an extraordinary athlete, a fantastic actor and a great person. We couldn't have made Predator without him. Before acting, he was a linebacker for the Oakland Raiders in the NFL, but at university his major was drama.
Now you're threatening to commit a serious crime, Mr. Buford.
He managed to break away from tough guy roles, discovering a talent for comedy in Happy Gilmore.
Damn alligator bit my hand off.
Oh, my God!
Adam Sandler describing him as smart as hell, loyal as hell, and funny as hell.
All you gotta do is tap it in.
He went on to find new audiences in Toy Story.
Combat Carl's learned. You gotta keep moving, or else they find you.
And later in the Star Wars spin-off, The Mandalorian.
Do you want the chip or not?
He received an Emmy for that performance. 76-year-old Carl Weathers died in his sleep at home, an action star who lit up the screen with heft and heart.
You had that eye of the tiger, man, the edge.
Nick Etchells, 7 News.
Thousands of Supercars fans have made the journey to Toowoomba for the launch of Red Bull Racing's 2024 season. The newest member of the team, Will Brown, received a hero's welcome, returning to his hometown.
Arriving in style, tearing up the tarmac and airborne stunts fit for a Supercars celebration.
400 kilometres now, down on the ground level, smoke on, and let's have a crack at it.
Unveiling a new look for a new era of racing.
Set and go again.
Go Red Bull.
Charlotte.
Bring it on again. 2024.
Wellcamp Airport, just outside of Toowoomba, transformed, a homecoming for Red Bull's newest driver.
I actually flew over from the Toowoomba airport in town and landed here to bring a plane over about an hour ago. So I flew in. Never would have thought this would have happened. It's a dream come true.
Diehards taking to the tarmac, friends and family getting into the Supercars spirit.
I kind of thought 1,000 people might turn up. This is going to be thousands and thousands.
Will Brown is jumping into the hottest seat in motorsport, right into the Red Bull Camaro, replacing and hopefully replicating the success of the legendary Shane van Gisbergen.
I feel really comfortable, to be honest. I'm just excited now. I'm not really feeling the pressure, but really excited to get into the season.
There are high hopes for Will Brown's Red Bull debut. The town here is pumping and they won't have to wait very long. Round 1 at Bathurst is just a number of weeks away. But it will be without a big name. Reigning champ and Brown's former teammate Brodie Kostecki will sit out after a reported rift with Erebus.
It's going to be a huge loss if he's not on the grid, and I hope it all works out.
I just hope to see him back soon. And look, I want to race the best.
Toowoomba thinks the best is already here. Time will tell if that's true. Well, they came in their thousands today, and let me tell you, not many have left at this stage. Still, scores of people lining up to get their signatures, their autographs, the autographs they hope will be championship autographs by the end of the year. Of course, it all starts with Bathurst. Now, coverage starts on February 24, live on 7 and on 7+. Sam?
Ned Baum at Wellcamp. Thank you, Ned. Well, some of the world's most famous soccer stars caught in a huge hack. Up next, addresses and passport details exposed from young players to elite athletes. A family car goes up in flames on the Gold Coast. See the video. Australia in Hollywood, our green and gold stars say g'day to the USA. And the potentially life-saving test helping swimmers stay safe from sharks.
Monday, 7 News takes you inside Australia's world-first eye farm. You'll see the growing of corneas.
This is cutting-edge technology.
Curing eye diseases and blindness.
It renews your life again.
The eye-opening day surgery restoring 20/20 vision on 7 News, Monday at 6.
A Gold Coast family had a shocking wake-up call this morning after their van burst into flames outside their home. Firefighters put out the blaze around 1:30, managing to save a ute from the flames. Police are not treating the fire as suspicious. The highly sensitive and personal information of Pro League soccer players from around the world could be at risk in a second Football Australia data leak. Hackers say the association published its own password online, giving anyone access to valuable player data.
They're the most elite footballers in the world.
It's Leo Messi! Oh, there it is! Ronaldo!
But the personal information of these players could be at risk after yet another Football Australia data breach.
This is a really trivial exposure, but what is exposed is an extremely damaging information leak.
According to cybersecurity expert Jamie O'Reilly, Football Australia unintentionally made public the key to its FIFA Connect account, a system associations use right around the world to exchange and track valuable player information.
The FIFA Connect program helps you to register all your stakeholders in a systematic way.
According to FIFA's own documents, that could include passports, even social security and tax numbers of its top players.
Is highly valuable because it can be used for multiple attack types. That suddenly takes it from just an Australian issue to a global issue.
That's not all. The 33-year-old claims access to this account means hackers could potentially manipulate local match results from the inside using the FIFA Connect service, data betting companies rely on.
If you want to do online betting and you're feeding it fake match results, you've controlled the outcome.
And it doesn't end there. If you've ever played soccer in Australia, your data could be out there too. The password for the Play Football database was also exposed, putting the details of millions of children at risk. It's alleged this information was available worldwide for anyone to access for at least 48 hours. It's now been taken down as Football Australia investigates the breach. Telling 7 News we're taking these allegations seriously and that Football Australia is committed to updating its stakeholders. Lucy McLeod, 7 News.
Aussie celebrities have turned out for the annual G'day USA Gala in Los Angeles. Delta Goodrem was honoured for her contribution to the arts, while actor Samara Weaving was presented the Rising Star Award for her breakthrough roles in Hollywood.
We do succeed, we crush it. Go us. Look at all the success stories, or even just the past recipients of this award.
The star-studded night was hosted by singer-songwriter G Flip. Another Queensland driver now victim to a malicious number plate scam. Coming up, the wild acts thieves used her plates for. How to avoid it happening to you. The moment a crime spree spills onto the streets as police give chase to a luxury car. A country singer caught and cuffed, how he allegedly stole millions. And a heartwarming act on the Gold Coast, an animal haven saved after devastating storms.
Once a premier Brisbane shopping experience.
It's a very special place in the hearts of the community here.
About to be demolished. What's the future for Toombul? Flashback, Sunday at 6.
Another victim of a bizarre car cloning scam has shared her story after 7 News revealed a former TV identity had become a target. Overdue fines in the mail set off suspicions. Then they spotted the copycat driving in public.
When Lana Mays received an overdue toll notice in the mail, she knew something wasn't right.
There was lots of tolls that we just, did not do.
By the time a speeding fine had arrived, Lana realised her car had been cloned. The colour, make, model and registration matched, but there were differences.
You can see a sunroof. Their car didn't have roof racks. Their number plate was a little bit thicker.
She's not the only one caught up in the bizarre scam. 7 News revealing yesterday a former sports broadcaster's car was duplicated.
I'd never heard of it before, but it is apparently not uncommon. They call it cloning.
To prevent it, websites like car sales automatically blur number plates. Lana hadn't posted her car online. Even stranger, her fiancé spotted the clone car being driven around.
He followed it for a little while, he called the cops. They then came across the clone car, abandoned in a car park.
Anyone caught cloning a number plate can expect to be fined. In Queensland, the penalty is $320, $3,200 in the ACT, while in New South Wales and Victoria, they also issue demerit points.
The copy of Lana's is now off the road, but she's still waiting to have the fines and tolls cleared.
Just be aware that there could be another one of your car on the road.
And you may actually be seeing double. Rosanna Kingson, 7 News.
A police chase from one side of Melbourne to the other has come to a crashing end. Officers tailed a stolen Porsche after 4 carjackings across the city. The crime spree started when the driver's accomplice stole a Jeep, called for a tow truck, then stole the truck. A 32-year-old man was slapped with 17 charges. A musician has been arrested and charged over a $10 million fraud. Craig Heath's alleged victims lost up to $2 million each, and he's even accused of scamming his own mother.
A country singer with the blues. Craig Heath is accused of property scams worth almost $10 million, even against his own mother.
Oh, look, it's as low as it can get.
John Pedder is just one of the 15 alleged victims who were scammed. He was introduced to Mr Heath through a broker and invested with him in 2016.
In total, it was $450,000 we were lending.
The scam was premeditated and elaborate. Even the lawyers who checked the loan contract were fooled.
The lawyers took it on face value just like we did, that these were not falsified photos and falsified documents.
Mr Heath has been charged with 35 offences, including using false documents and obtaining financial advantage by deception. The victims have each lost between $20,000 and $2.1 million since the investment scam was first reported to police in 2011.
I don't actually feel foolish or gullible in this instance because I thought we'd done all of our due diligence.
Police will allege that last month Mr Heath, who is also a country singer, had begun targeting single women, trying to convince them to invest in property projects.
After his arrest here in Malvern East yesterday, Mr Heath was released on bail. He's due to face the Melbourne Magistrates Court again on Thursday.
Melina Saris, 7 News.
It's a strange rescue. A floating sauna saved 2 people after their Tesla plunged into icy waters in Norway. The electric car became submerged within minutes, but a floating sauna arrived just in time. Guests on board wearing only towels pulled the driver and passenger to safety as the car disappeared. It's understood the driver mistakenly hit the accelerator. A third of Australians will need blood in their lifetime, but only 1 in 30 will actually give blood. The Red Cross and Cancer Council are teaming up this month to remind us how giving blood can truly save lives.
In this place, lifesavers are in abundance. People like Peter, who's donated blood more than 100 times.
Like such a simple act, like you come in, you lie down, they feed you and it's an hour of your day.
Today, platelets are being collected. They're precious, used specifically for treating cancer patients.
The very first thing that they needed to do to help save my life was to give me 6 bags of blood.
Kirsty was 9 years old when her battle began, an adult by the time it ended.
Always needed blood transfusions. Anyone that has been on chemotherapy, most of us will tell you it's part of the process of healing your body.
It's estimated more than 1 million Australians are currently living with or beyond a cancer diagnosis. By 2040, that number will almost double.
Actually, the biggest users of blood donations are in fact cancer patients, but they need it for their treatment, they need it during surgery, they need it to deal with complications from their condition.
100,000 new donors are needed this year alone.
Demand for blood and blood products in December was highest ever. So we collected highest ever, but we had more demand. So that's the problem.
It's kind of a strange thing to walk around and think, oh my gosh, like I've got the blood of like so many different people. There's strangers in this room. I kind of want to rush up to them and like thank them and hug them, but they're going to think that's strange.
Every drop makes a difference. Tom Hartley, 7 News.
A life-saving test to protect Queensland swimmers. Up next, how science is helping us swim fear-free. Marketplace thieves strike in a snatch and run raid. The transport revolution pitched for Brisbane. And USA's Embassy of Japan weighs in on Taylor Swift's dash to the Super Bowl. There could be a major shake-up to public transport across Brisbane under a bold election pitch by the Greens. Mayoral candidate Jonathan Sriranganathan is promising free travel for children and free off-peak travel for everyone if the Greens win power at the March 16 council election. It's hoped the plan would ease cost of living pressures on families. An armed phone thief has been captured stealing a $2,000 mobile from a victim selling it on Facebook Marketplace. The man snatched the brand new iPhone 15 Pro from the seller's hands in Melbourne and sprinted to a getaway car. Australian researchers are developing a new water test that can track shark DNA to determine if one is swimming nearby. It's hoped the technology could be used to keep swimmers and surfers safe.
Predicting the water conditions is one thing, but what if you could predict the presence of a shark.
I would take notice of it. I would not go in the water.
New research suggests it could be as simple as testing the water for signs of predators. Experts working to detect the DNA of Australia's 3 most problematic shark species, great white, tiger and bull sharks, known to shed their skin. A water sample is collected and tested. If DNA is found, authorities could raise the alarm.
And we've come really far with technology, so why not use it?
What the researchers don't know is how long the DNA may have been in the water.
Could be 10 hours, it could be 10 days, it could be 3 weeks. Yes, you could find out that a shark has been there, but you would have no idea about how long ago.
For some, it's still enough to think twice about a swim.
If there was a shark, no, I wouldn't go in.
Earlier this week, Lauren O'Neill was bitten by a bull shark at Elizabeth Bay.
Maybe I wouldn't go out as deep, but wouldn't change much for me.
Gathering a water sample like this, sending it off for testing and achieving a result could realistically take up to 6 hours, but researchers do hope eventually they'll be able to use a portable detection system that could bring that time down to an hour.
And that's the kind of thing that, we did for COVID, and we developed that rapidly, right, because we needed it.
Grace Fitzgibbon, 7 News.
Australia's oldest woman has died at the age of 111. Great-grandmother Katarina van der Linden passed away in her sleep, surrounded by family in Adelaide.
Just to watch her mobility and also her sharpness of mind, even at that age, was an inspiration.
It's believed Victorian woman Maria Rolankic now takes the title of Australia's oldest person. First, they were devastated by storms. Now an army of selfless volunteers are pitching in to save a Gold Coast animal haven. That heartwarming display of community spirit is just ahead on 7 News. The sport time now, and Ben, more shake-ups for the Maroons.
Yeah, it's on the card, Sam. G'day, everyone. He's got a new look coaching staff now. Billy Slater puts his entire squad on notice. And what was behind this reaction from Tom Brady at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am? The Maroons' pick and stick mantra is in question tonight, with Billy Slater putting his entire squad on notice, insisting no one's spot is safe. 35 in a fortnight, age won't be a factor for skipper Daly Cherry Evans, but form will be for everyone.
A day out for Billy and the kids, along with some pretty handy footballers. 34 Maroons in camp, only 17 will make the cut for game 1. The battle for fullback, the major talking point. Superstars Walsh and Dally M medalist Ponga head to head.
Everyone wants to hear about that sort of stuff, but they've both contributed immensely to both the 2022 series and the 2023 series.
Who gets the crack in the 24 series to be decided on club form over the next 12 weeks?
It doesn't just roll over from year to year. You've got to go and work hard at your game every year, and they get the opportunity to do that.
Mam took his opportunity with a dazzling 3-try effort in the grand final.
I thought he was wonderful, and he really stood up in some big moments. That's something that he's handled now.
Queensland will be chasing their first three-peat since 2017 without assistant Cameron Smith.
I'm pretty sure he's still my mate. I'm pretty sure I've still got his phone number. I'm pretty sure he'll still pick up his phone. So,
Sean Lawson, 7 News.
Xavier Bartlett's reward for earning player of the match in his international debut rested for tomorrow's one-dayer in Sydney. Suffering back stress fractures at the start of the summer, the Queenslander will return for Game 3 against the Windies, allowing more Big Bash stars to shine.
Bags packed and heading for a potential SCG debut. A meteoric rise, 6 years in the making for the Victorian skipper after turning his back on a potential AFL career. Will's set to join sister Annabelle as the latest Sutherland in one of cricket's most exclusive clubs. It's part of a white ball revamp. World Cup hero Travis Head will be rested ahead of Australia's test tour to New Zealand. It opens the door for Victorian Matt Short at the top of the order. A ticket to ride for Steve Smith, the batting maestro, not having to reach too deep into his bag of tricks during last night's win.
And that should be for a beautiful way to finish it off.
Valuable time in the middle for Cam Green, belting his way to an unbeaten 77. The last time a Bartlett put on a clinic at the MCG was Kevin back in 1983.
Oh, got him! It's a beauty!
Yeah, definitely ease the nerves to get that first wicket out of the way and to get it, with a decent ball. So always nice. Yeah, lucky hit the stumps.
Australia shooting for 11 one-day wins in a row. Theodoropoulos, 7 News.
The Socceroos Asian Cup campaigns come to a heartbreaking end, falling to South Korea 2-1 in the quarterfinals. Craig Goodwin scored for Australia leading into half-time at Qatar, but a late defensive blunder brought Korea back into it deep into stoppage time. Wang Hee-chan's penalty forced extra time, where Tottenham captain Son broke Aussie hearts. Aidan O'Neill's red card, the final insult for the Aussies.
Yeah, it's painful, it's not, it's hard to not get caught up in the emotions, obviously. We just couldn't get that extra goal to give us that little bit of a buffer, and, moments, they decide games.
South Korea faces Jordan in the semis. Supercars champ Brodie Kostecki's former teammate Will Brown has opened up to 7 News, hoping he sees the sport's top driver on track this year. While Kostecki's future's clouded, Brown's is clear, unleashing his new Red Bull Camaro to fans this afternoon in his hometown. He spoke to our own Ned Balm a short time ago.
Yeah, good evening, Ben. We're out here in Toowoomba. We're with the man of the moment, Will Brown, mate. You finally had a look at the livery, brand new. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it looks awesome. My first Red Bull Ampol livery with Triple Eight. Really happy with how it came up and just excited to be in the team.
Of course, one of the big differences in the livery, the name. No Van Gisbergen anymore. How much pressure do you feel taking over for a legend?
Yeah, obviously Van Gisbergen was massive for the sport, and he's gone off to do NASCAR and what he's dreamt to do. So to take over from where he left and try and perform will be awesome. But a little bit of pressure there, but I'm not feeling it just yet, luckily.
I've got to ask you, Brodie Kostecki, a former teammate of yours, obviously he's not racing. What are your thoughts on that matter? Have you reached out to him?
Yeah, obviously I've reached out to him. He's a great mate of mine, and he's a true champion. It's really sad not to see him on the grid. We want the champ out there. He's the benchmark right now, and he needs to be on the grid. So something needs to be sorted.
Do you think we'll see him this year?
I hope so. I really hope so. So like I say, he lives and breathes racing, and I know he'd want to be out there.
Of course, mate. Well, we'll let you get out there too. This is an absolute madhouse here. Benny, geez, they love their supercars out in Toowoomba, mate. Back to you.
Yeah, don't they? Well, thank you, boys. And this is how world sport's billion-dollar bombshell was delivered. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff wasn't completely surprised by Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari defection.
We got together for coffee in my place in Oxford. How he framed it to me is perfectly understandable, that he needed a new challenge and that it was maybe the last possibility to do something else.
Wolff vows to be bold in replacing the 7-time world champ next year. Well, the Bullets have just given up fourth spot on the ladder, going down to the high-flying Hawks in Wollongong moments ago. Brisbane took no prisoners with so much at stake, turning a 6-point half-time deficit into a 4-point lead during the third term. But Illawarra surged in the run home. Gary Clark leading them with 19 points, 89-76. The Bullets sliding down to 6th. And any fears netball's ugly pay dispute damaged the brand were allayed this morning. A healthy turnout at the Firebirds fan session at Chermside.
It's our job to, grow our sport and something that we've grown up loving. So if we can just spread that to the younger girls coming through, that's our goal.
Yeah, the skipper's targeting April's first round to return from disc surgery. And before I go, 6 days ago, Tom Brady was hitting Reece Walsh and Lachie Neale on the chest here in Brisbane. Today, he was hitting them at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Just not as well. NFL's GOAT giving us mere mortals hope. There we go. I can say now that Tom Brady and I have something in common, Sam.
The first time he's missed anything. Thank you, Ben.
Correct.
Well, Japan's embassy in Washington has reassured Swifties the singer will still play her booked shows in Japan before heading to the Super Bowl this month. The embassy telling fans in the tongue-in-cheek statement they can be fearless and can confidently speak now that Taylor will arrive in Las Vegas in time to see her boyfriend Travis Kelce play for the Kansas City Chiefs. Thank goodness. Well, it's Community Queensland spirit at its best coming up, the heartwarming effort to save a Gold Coast business devastated by storms.
And it looks as though we're in for a partly cloudy day across the southeast tomorrow. Still warm temperatures though. All the details, everyone, after the break. I'll see you in a second.
A heartwarming show of community spirit has saved an animal haven on the Gold Coast. Rescued pets were going to be rehomed after devastating storm damage, but today the many hands of strangers made light work.
Jodie Alderton's known for her kindness. Today she was on the receiving end.
I can't even express how grateful I actually am.
Gold Coasters volunteering their time and tools to rebuild after destructive storms.
Everything was falling down around me, but now it's not.
For 2 decades, Jodie has been rescuing abandoned animals, then sharing their love at nursing homes, hospitals and with people with a disability.
It's made a huge difference. Some weeks on a Friday she didn't want to get out of bed.
Jodie was ready to reluctantly rehome her animals because of the overwhelming cleanup. Instead, strangers like Michelle and Alan Sutton stepped up, leaving wild weather repairs at their own home to help.
It's all about paying it forward, and without these sort of people and places like this, I'd hate to think where all the animals would end up.
She does so much for the community, and I think the community just wants to give back.
Volunteers will be back again tomorrow, proving the bad really can bring out the best in the community.
I'm being lifted by the community, and it's a really beautiful feeling. I feel alive, and it actually makes me want to help more people now.
Exactly what she does best. On the Gold Coast, Mel Whiteman, 7 News.
For the time now, here's Paul Burt.
Thanks for that, Sam. Hello, everybody. It certainly was a bit of a muggy day, still a muggy evening here on the Gold Coast at the moment. Coming to you live from Bud's Beach on the northern end, just next to a little old boat ramp here. Let's take a look at today's temperatures, everybody. It looks a little bit bleak and gloomy outside at the moment. Some dark numbers already pushing up around the border region. But we can tell you temperatures did reach around that 31 to 32 degrees coastal regions. A little bit similar in the city, and 33 for Ipswich, down to 23 overnight. To the charts now, ex-tropical cyclone Kirrily barging its way along that trough all the way through. Tomorrow it's going to be ending up in western New South Wales and moving further south, so it's dropping a lot of rain as it ventures down inland. We do have that low sitting out in the Coral Sea, not doing too much at the moment, although it's very windy up there, but not affecting the coastline. We'll keep a close eye on that over the coming days. As we take a look around the nation, though, partly cloudy for Sydney and Canberra with a high of 35 degrees. Melbourne going to be very hot with a sunny top of 38 degrees. Back to the tropics now. Possible shower for Cairns and 32. They're mostly sunny from Townsville through to Mackay. Highs of 32 also, down to about 24, 25 overnight. Showers will ease in Mount Isa as that system moves further to the south, and 34 degrees. Further south now, under the influence of a high pressure ridge, pretty good conditions coming through from Rockhampton through to Harvey Bay, also down around Gympie. Temperatures holding steady around 22 to 33 degrees, 24 overnight in some areas, 20 to 31 for Toowoomba, and further west though, 41 for Longreach and 38 degrees for Roma. Good evening out there. Back home in the southeast. Not a bad Sunday ahead. We're going to see mild conditions this evening and then warming up. 23 degrees for Ipswich with a high of 33. Coastal stretches 24 to 31, the average for around Redcliffe and also Bayside. On the water, east-northeast winds 15 knots, seas 1 metre in the city, 24 to 32 and partly cloudy. Looking like a lovely Sunday. That'll roll into Tuesday, 33, then showers moving in Wednesday. Similar for Ipswich. We're going to see some showers moving in midweek, but enjoy Monday, Tuesday. Pretty good conditions. Similar for the Gold Coast, highs of 31 on Tuesday, then showers for Wednesday, and the Sunshine Coast. Keep the brolly handy for Wednesday as we see the showers moving through till Saturday. Let's check the waterways for tomorrow, everybody. On the surfing scene, if you're keen to get out there, we're forecasting east-northeasterly winds tomorrow. Nothing too strong, but enough to put a bit of a bump on that ocean swell. Swell, by the way, coming in from the south-southeast direction. Heading over the border will be ideal. Those southern-facing beaches capturing the majority of it. And, of course, our end of the coast, you'll find some smaller waves in there, about a metre. We've got that large low tide coming through mid-morning. Fishing-wise, plenty of whiting around the beaches at the moment, along with some nice-sized flatties. Have a look at this. Using beach worms, catching some flatties. That was around Narraneck, some nice catches there. Offshore fishing, seen some nice catches of mulloway due to the recent rain. Plenty of mackerel out there. Kenny Dickinson getting this fish. Have a look at that beautiful spotty mackerel. Been a few also taken by the jet skiers. That's right, northern New South Wales getting nailed by some beautiful spotties around Blackrock. Good luck. And Sam, enjoy this beautiful weather at the moment before Wednesday with those showers start to settle in across the entire southeast through till about Friday. Have a great night.
Thanks, Bertie. Same to you. And that's all from us this Saturday. Thanks for your company. We'll have updates throughout the evening, but for now, from all the team, have a great night.